Or did that fireball shot hit you?
Fireball.
No, dude.
I feel weird.
I can see it in your eyes.
Welcome to Monster Deep Dive. We are your local Monster Girl gang here to explore all things that go bump in the night. I am Micah, one of your hosts, and I have a contract for one of you for 7 years.
And I'm Mal, your other co-host, and I don't know how to not overthink the lore of these erotica books.
I'm Jorah, your other co-host, and I too would sell my life for 7 years for somebody to get revenge for me.
I am your other co-host, and I would peg a demon if they would get rid of my student loans.
Wouldn't we all? We are going to be discussing The Demon's Bargain by Katee Roberts. And before we actually get started, it is important that you go to the description and you look at all of the trigger warnings and all the things that are in this book. We'll be putting them there. Also, let us know if we happen to miss one.
Do we want to cheers?
Cheers!
Cheers.
I'm scared.
We normally make cocktails for this, even though we never talk about them. There is no cocktail today. It's just an airplane shot of fireball. Pew, pew, pew.
Cheers, ladies. Cheers, everyone.
All right, you guys ready? Cheers.
Wait.
Gotta open it.
Cheers.
Carefully cheers.
Carefully cheers. Cheers.
Oh, God.
I don't want to do this.
I don't either.
I love Fireball.
Oh my god.
Fireball.
I haven't done this since college.
I feel like I have big red gum in my mouth.
I have not literally had fireball since college. Oh my god.
That was really good.
Woo!
It's
Spicy!
Because
you're
I
a
know you're a demon.
Get out of my brain! Get out!
That was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, that was good.
I mean, Laura are literally dying. My
My
last memory of drinking Fireball is like me like puking profusely because it was like the first time I ever
I don't
got
think
drunk.
that's
anybody
not good.
associates fireball with good
I
memories.
think that's the first time anybody ever got drunk was drinking Fireball.
It's so
That's
good.
The ancient times.
Anyway, this is our lovely book that we have been reading. I enjoyed the cover because it features
the
our
cover's-
current demon boyfriend, Ramanu, who was briefly featured in Dragon's Bride, which
Well,
we
are they
also read.
a demon boyfriend or a demon partner?
They're a demon partner.
A demon them friend.
A demon,
demon
them
them
friend. For real. Yeah.
Or a demon partner?
I will get that wrong probably numerous times.
It's okay.
But they are a fantastic they, them. They should stay that way.
Yeah.
But they are
Representation.
very attractive. Okay. Anyway.
Yes.
Main character is named Lenora. And she is in a precarious situation and must summon demon to help her with this. She has lost her family amulet and is going to need some assistance getting it back. Well, she thinks. So she summons our very handsome them, Ramnaru, and they are instantaneously intrigued and interested in our witch badass protagonist. Homicidal
queen.
Not going to jump into too much of a deep summary, but we go to a night market where we get to experience all of these interesting people who come together, all kinds of subspecies. We can potentially have vampires and demons and werewolves and witches and all kinds of things that go to this night market for Halloween. And yeah, some shenanigans ensue. So if you want to read the book, you should pause this now and do it because it is only 126 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
super short.
super short.
Yay.
So I found Lenora a really interesting protagonist. I liked her from the very beginning.
I also
Agreed.
really liked her. To be fair, I also like the whole time was just comparing her to Briar
Agreed.
from the first book in the series.
Yeah.
Because I found Briar's personality to be like really flat, whereas like Lenore felt like a person.
She did.
Like she had goals, she had ambition, She
had relationships
had
outside of
full,
just
yes,
ramen.
She had full relationships outside of Ramanu. She also like had big emotions in literally a 3-day span.
Yes.
Like she had like some really high, some really low emotions, but she also was very like thoughtful and mature about it, which I do think at some point she vaguely mentions her age, and I think she is like definitely like late 20s, early 30s.
I think so.
She is.
As a protagonist. So it was nice to like have somebody that was like emotionally competent and knew like where their own feelings and thoughts were.
Yeah. She
And-
also had multiple relationships.
Yeah.
With very different partners. Which
Yes, one of
was-
which we meet.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And then the other one is mentioned as being like this just really sweet woman that had a child and
Yeah.
just couldn't handle her dark magic. And
Jack.
And there's so no.
Jack-
That's
That's the one that we meet.
Jack
Jack.
is,
The other one.
That's
I think
not
it's
the
like
one with the
Hannah
kid.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
The
kid.
she
Yeah.
had like a female partner
Yeah.
who has a kid.
A kid. And then
and
there's
she's
Jack.
Baker.
Yeah, she's with like a homemaker now. And like she also talks about like being jealous about that.
Yes.
But she also knows that that's like not who she is, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
It's refreshing
Yeah.
to have a character just be
I
like,
also like how she didn't have like a tragic backstory, really.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
Correct.
obviously there were like issues with the amulet, but it wasn't like she wasn't a victim. Like,
Yeah.
she
No,
like
she- and it was
did
more like-
something about it.
Yeah.
And I really liked that about
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
her.
she very much acknowledged the fact that she was like, from the time
It was
I was
my
a kid, I was always interested in this like dark side of magic. My grandmother was interested in dark side of magic.
Yeah.
And with that comes like certain kind of lifestyle choices, and that she really does own. She does have some introspection where she was like, it would be nice if I had a life where I lived with Hannah
Yeah.
like this, but I've always been this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed with like the depth of those relationships too, because like it
Yes.
talks about her struggle with this dark magic. Like there's this one really good story about the dead bird where like, her
Yeah.
dad
When she's a
finds her.
kid.
Yeah, and like it's this struggle of like, oh, my dads don't want me to be this way, but it's just who I am, and so like, am I going to be
Yeah.
too much for everybody always? And I feel like that's really, it was really surprisingly, she felt real, even though her problems were very magical in nature.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really liked it because I felt like I could relate to her.
No, she felt like a real person, which was really nice.
Yes.
and she took responsibility for like losing the amulet. Like,
did,
like
yeah.
trusting.
Even though like
Even though it's
even
not
though it's
her
not her
fault.
fault.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
she's like,
so-
hey, I recognize maybe I made a stupid decision
Exactly.
in this moment.
And we are, of course, we're referencing
Yeah.
the fact that she sleeps with this man named
Christoph.
And in the moment of her slumber, he steals a amulet that is very important to her family and her magic within her family, which we find out more about later, with it being like celestial and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, she very much takes ownership. Like, I should have never trusted him. This is why I'm in this situation. And she really summons Ramnaru as kind of like an experiment and also kind of like a last resort, because she
Yeah.
doesn't summon Ramnaru with the intention of making him do the
Yeah.
thing.
She's
She's
her
like,
backup plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's a failsafe.
yeah.
exactly.
They are a failsafe.
They are a fail.
They are a failsafe.
which is nice. But yeah, she has this grimoire that her grandmother has, and she summons Ramnaru into the basement of this house that she's living in, and from the get-go, they are very intrigued with her. And what I really liked about this book and getting to see kind of Ramnaru's perspective is when they are introduced in the Dragon's Bride, like they are kind of like this little like, you know, trickster kind of like antagonist in that story, where it's like the pot stirrer kind of thing, but we don't get their perspective and we don't understand like really what they're seeing. And in this book, I really, really liked that we could see how they saw the world, because Ramnaru does not have eyes; they have horns in their eyes.
That's really cool.
Which is a really interesting, characterization. And then to have them explain how they are seeing the world, and it's like all color based and emotion based, which was really neat.
It was really cool.
I loved that. The way I got so excited for every single chapter that like it was Ramanu's perspective. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like what colors are we going to experience? Like what, like my little artsy color theory brain was like going off the charts.
Yeah.
Also, we can't skip over the fact that Lenora's grandma only summoned Ramanu.
To fuck?
Ramanu?
Ramen.
Ramanu.
Ramanu.
Call him
Ramen.
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 His nickname is Ramen.
We call them ramen.
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't.
I mean, I think ramen would like the nickname.
Yeah, I think so.
I
too.
agree.
I think they would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Lenora's grandmother summons Ramanu. Ramen.
Ramanu.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
In order to sleep with them,
In
like
theory,
3 times.
Well,
Because
She doesn't actually sleep with
Yeah,
them.
she doesn't
No,
get
yeah.
to.
'Cause Ramen's
but
like, she freaks me out.
to.
She's
terrified.
She wants them.
Yeah, she like looks through the grimoire and she's like, okay, well here's like a bargainer demon that like my grandma had summoned multiple times. So I'm just gonna try it. But also it's like in-depth description of what they look like, and she's like, grandma was really into this
I
demon.
just like
Yeah.
that Lenora's like grandma. Like,
Like when they show up, Lenora's literally like, I knew they would be hot.
yeah,
Grandma was
was
really into them.
Yeah.
Very
summoned
much so.
them 3 times.
For real. Didn't make a bargain once. Just summoned them
I just
3
imagine
times.
Ramnaru really though being like, I don't want to make a bargain.
Like,
Like,
I
please
know,
let me go.
Like, comes up through the circle. Like, just rises through the circle and is like, oh, man.
you again?
Stop summoning me, lady.
She's literally just like, hey.
Yeah, he's like sitting in the circle, like, okay.
She's like, I'll take 7 years. I'll take 7 years. with
She's
you."
like on the couch in lingerie. And she's like, hey.
Look at him this time.
And he's like, I see your colors as like all black. You're gonna murder me.
They're like, she is hot pink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
For
I
real.
gotta get out of here.
She's
Hazel.
a nuclear explosion pink.
Yes.
Also, Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer.
If you haven't read the book and you're confused why we keep saying pink, it's because pink is for lust
Yes.
in his color wheel.
And he also wanted to see deep blue, which I think was like contentment or something.
Yeah,
like
deep
that.
blue is contentment.
Oh my gosh, which the idea that like Ramanu wants to see Lenore as like this deep blue just so like she's content.
Yes.
The way that was so romantic for no reason.
No reason.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
But he does show up and immediately starts antagonizing her with like,
Mm-hmm.
you summoned me and like I'm gonna get something out of it, and if that means we fuck, that's cool. There was like instant chemistry between the two of them, which I enjoyed, and very much her just being like, no, I'm not gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
Not like that's what got me into this mess, was me having sex with a man that I couldn't trust, and so I'm not trusting you because you're obviously have an ulterior motive. You want me to sign this contract with 7 years of my life to go away. But anyway, so they kind of make this deal where he's gonna stick around, and they're gonna go on this adventure to go get this amulet back. So they leave the house to find a portal to go to the night market, which is in a haunted house of all things.
Yeah.
They go to this haunted house, they get the inn, and they go to the night market.
Which the night market is really cool.
Very cool.
I liked it.
I loved it.
And Mallory, you know more about this than
Oh,
yeah.
Mallory,
you do.
explain.
I do.
Explain the night market.
Okay, so after we read The Dragon's Bride, I got very, very deep into the lore of the Katee Roberts monster porn universe, or as I like to call it, the Krempu.
Oh, ew, saying it out loud so bad.
And so if you see,
Murder board.
I didn't expect to bring it out so early, but it is on the murder board. Who? The Katee Robert extended monster porn universe. This book is set in the night market, which is technically part of the Krempu, but only adjacently because it's actually connected to this Peculiar Taste series, which is between Katee Roberts and a bunch of other romance authors. And so they all share this little night market world. So they have a bunch of cute little books and they're all set in the little night market, and it's very fun. But that's why the map in the book has like all these places that like don't matter. It's because it's in those other books. And then so the night market happens on Samhain, which is 3 days long, and it's in this little portal dimension in Scotland, and it is made by the Dark Druid, who I don't know who he is, but his name sounds really cool. And he does it for the Fae Queen, and he creates this little portal thingy every year for those 3 days.
So if you are some sort of other, you can access this market through portals. And some of them are perpetually there and open, so you know where they always are. And then others like kind of spontaneously come up, a.k.a. the haunted house where Lenora...
Where our portal is.
Yes. Yeah, Lenora finds. She's like, hey, doing some magic, finding this portal so we can go to the night market.
Yeah.
All with the intention of getting Kristoff to
I know. It's my first time looking at it, so I'm like, wow.
It'll come back out, Mallory. It'll come back out.
There's so much later.
I think that we need to
so
take
much
a
love
picture
went
of
into
that.
it.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll put it
Needs to
somewhere
exist.
so all of you can look at it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a photo of you
Holding it proudly,
sunny,
like it's your science
Philadelphia.
fair project.
What's this? It's an art project. Okay, I like it. Picasso.
Yeah, so we get to the night market and with the goal of finding Kristoff, murdering Kristoff, and
Getting the amulet back
getting the amulet back. Exactly.
to restore her family's magic.
Without Ramen's help.
Yes, so Ramen
Yes.
is always like this like kind of background thing, like, hey, I can help. Like, if you just sign a contract, if you make a bargain with me, I can just do it for you. Which then actually, though, Ramen does find out like later that because the amulet is like family magic and stuff like that, it like protects Kristoff completely. So he isn't even sure if his awesome demon magic could even affect him or be useful. And
Well-
he keeps that kind of close to the chest. He does never admits that.
Well, like, what? It's not even that. It's family magic. It's that celestial,
yes.
which is
Well,
like
he doesn't find that out until later.
Yeah.
When he makes that connection, like he's like, oh shit, like this is something that is meant to be a protection, and he finds that out from Jack. Jack is ex-lover of Lenora, but they're really good friends, and they also want to help. And Jack is gonna try to steal the amulet off Kristoff.
that's plan A.
That was plan A.
It was a faulty plan.
It didn't
didn't seem really solid.
You know, I was like,
Well, doesn't
Jack,
it-
come on, man.
Well, doesn't
Come on.
Jack?
Like,
doesn't
come on,
Jack like
Jack.
come back to Lenore and is like, yeah, well,
I failed.
it was a solid attempt, but you know there were like 3 ladies on Kristoff.
I couldn't do it.
Well,
Sorry.
totally. Like, I think that's important to definitely get to because that is a very spicy scene.
Spicy scene.
But anyway, so once we find out though that there is the plan to get Jack to steal this amulet back from Kristoff, Lenora and Ramnaru go to this inn for the night to kind of like recharge and figure things out, and that's when they
Here
make
comes the end scene.
Yeah.
With one bed.
There's only one bed.
Oh my
What
god!
are we gonna do? Not have sex?
exactly.
You know, Ramanu at one point they're like, they talk about the time difference, and Lenore's like, "Can you even be here for 3 days?" And Ramanu's like,
It's
I'll
probably
deal with
fine.
that later. I'll deal with those days later. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I'm having some fun, and also you intrigue me,
Yes.
so I'll stick around."
I see all of your beautiful colors, and I want to stay.
I do have a confession though that I only told Jorah. I literally got like 1 chapter in, and then I had to skip because I had to know what the sex scene was. So I literally skipped like
It's
4
true.
chapters and read the sex scene, and then
But
went
it's
back.
okay. I mean,
I had to know.
The
I
first sex
I
scene's
had to
fun.
know.
It is fun.
It was a
is
slow
fun.
burn for a Katee Roberts novel, and I could not take 4 chapters.
Which
in
is-
that they don't have sex until like page
Yeah.
50 or
what
something.
the heck?
Which
I
is-
was like on edge. I had to know.
yeah, which is hysterical because it's only like
In
116
the Dragon
pages.
Bride, it was like page 2. Like I had to
Yeah.
wait so long.
No, Dragon
Even
Bride,
part-
she's like masturbating in her room. Like as soon
Yeah.
as she gets there,
Oh yeah.
she rolls up
No,
and she's like, I
there's-
know what I'm about.
No, there's like some good tension that builds between
It
like
was a lot. for me.
Ramanu and Lenore
There
and
is.
before they like actually
Yes.
commit to having sex.
I've read quite a few Katee Roberts novels, and let me tell you, this was the slowest burn. And I was like, no, this ain't it, Katee.
See, I loved it.
I loved it.
I did too, but like from Katee Roberts, you have a certain expectation,
See,
right? Because,
yeah.
because it's Katee Roberts, and that's how she like writes.
I don't know. I was
I
just,
was thinking of Mike and I have both
What?
read Court of the Vampire Queen, which is literally
all
you want
porn.
to talk about literally
I would
page
die,
2.
wouldn't I?
It's
No.
all sex. It's like
Okay.
It never stops.
it never stops.
Okay,
It
well,
ne-
maybe I will read that one
You should.
because it's
If-
not a slow burn. But
it's
immediate.
It's immediate.
Oh, like
Yeah.
open the
She
door.
walks in the door.
Opens the
it's
door, eating her
400
out.
pages.
look, I love a slow burn. Okay,
Yeah.
I do, but like in this one, I was like, I love ramen, so I'm ready to see what this sex scene is about. And then she was gonna make me wait until chapter 5 for this to happen.
I don't know. I was
couldn't do it.
invested.
I was
I was
invested.
I was
invested.
invested.
I liked that they instantaneously had an attraction to each other, but then
Yeah.
she was like, no, I'm not going to give into it because I know it comes with stipulations. And
Yeah.
I trust
Ramanu was
you.
instantly
Yeah.
like, why do I, like, I am so drawn to her.
This is what happened when one burns for someone.
I think if they had had sex immediately and Lenora kept being like, well, I got into a bad situation because of sex, but fuck it, I'm going to have sex with him, I would have been really annoyed.
Well,
You
that's
would have
what
been.
happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the outcome would have been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, she like really does try to not bone him for a long
She
time.
does.
Because
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
does.
this is what got me in trouble to begin with.
And what, so the one nice thing about their sexual relationship and how it kind of develops is like, unlike Dragon's Bride, where it's like, I don't feel like they really had that much of a conversation about like what it's going to be to have sex and what are the stipulations, but like it was just very lust filled. And while this is very lust filled, don't get me wrong, they have a conversation before they even get
They
into
do.
it. So they're
I
in
liked
the
it.
they're in the inn and they're like, hey, I'm not making a bargain with you. I'm not signing a contract, but hey, can we make this like smaller deal
Like
for
3
like the
days.
next 3 days? You just stick around, and within those 3 days, we can have fun with each other. And that's when the kind of the first sex scene occurs. Is in the
Yes.
inn. Yes, which I enjoyed.
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
I really liked the like cute, fun little banter building up to it, where they
Me
were like,
too.
"Let's make a deal. Like, what can we do?" You know.
Their banter was so fun from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was.
I loved it.
Also, it wasn't like the breeding kink that was really heavy in the first book. Like, I know, I get it. Okay, I understand. But
Me and Micah were like,
I get it. Okay, look, I get it. But I liked in this one that she was like, I'm not having children, period.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
No,
Do
very
not
much so.
come after
No,
me
no, no.
on it. Like,
yeah, no, no, no.
Let's be clear.
I
Yes.
appreciated it.
Breeding kink is a weird thing because I don't want children.
We never want to be pregnant.
No, but like
It's the idea of being full.
it's the idea of being filled up, which
Yes.
I will say was lacking, and I wanted it so bad.
I do like.
I love
yeah.
that. But
Yes.
like, I don't know. I just liked how
I
guess opposite the books were, and like
Yeah.
I liked these sex
Briar-
scenes for different
yeah,
reasons.
Like Briar was
Yes.
like, I guess if I have a kid, like I'll deal with it, you know.
Yeah.
But then like Lenora was like, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Like I am charmed the heck out.
I-
on
yeah,
Earth,
well-
girl, it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, also like Lenore and like Ramanu's sex scenes are also very much like based around specifically what does she need in that moment, and like they are very accommodating for that, which I think is really fun. And also like I really enjoy the first one because it's like the kind of like being fucked stupid, which I enjoy a lot.
Yes.
I think that one's really fun. So I enjoyed the first one specifically for that.
I liked the legs over the horns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
That's
had
good
a hard
detail.
time picturing it. That's one that I might need some,
You should have
some
texted.
illustration for.
I could have.
Laura, do you know why you can't picture it, Laura? It's because you fell asleep when we were playing Seduce Me.
You're right.
The fucking handlebars.
We'll have her round two. No, I saw the handlebars. I woke up for that part.
No, you didn't. It was called We Woke Up the
it was
next
the
morning.
next
We had to
next morning.
replay it.
Yes.
I said, you have to play it back. I must know.
Dude, I was falling asleep like playing that sex scene. And I was like, I've played this game like 5 times.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Y'all will
But-
get that later.
Yeah, and then also the idea of like her being on top, but him being in control.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
the monstrosity of it, you know, was very much like, oh, I can pick her up and I can
Yes.
impale her.
Yes.
While she is just at my mercy.
Is this
Yes.
the one where the shadow ribbons come out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's later.
No, this is the one where the shadow ribbons come out.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
first
this
one.
I thought
Yeah.
it was the
The
Yeah.
first one is
Is
one
the
where
ribbons?
She ties him up.
Yeah, she does
with the
tie
blood
him up.
magic.
Yes.
Because it's her having fun with him first.
because
And then
she
he flips her over.
Yes,
And then
yeah,
her
yeah,
legs
yeah.
flip her
Stupid.
over.
Pucks are
Yes.
fucks are stupid.
Yes.
No, yeah, I remember now because she appreciates the fact that like even though he is clearly more powerful than she is, like he doesn't make a show of like overpowering her because she even mentions that like other partners like that had power, you know, magic
Yeah,
or whatever.
she-
She was like, oh, dude, like they would always be like retaking control.
And she wanted
Yeah.
equality.
And
That
yes.
was, like, a big
Yeah.
thing for her.
She talked about like power dynamics and she talked about it a lot, and it was really nice for her to feel like they were on the same
page.
because like Ramanu very easily like they could have snapped like those magical ribbons.
Yes, they could have.
And,
And
was
they did
just
at the end.
to fuck her
Yeah,
stupid.
exactly.
Which God, that's like one of my favorite tropes. Is being fucked
Her
stupid.
stupid.
It's so fun. But yeah, like no, they're like, I like this. This is fun. This is nice. I like being tied up.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
it happen?
I'll let it
Yes, I'll
happen.
let it happen.
It's a vibe. Yeah. So yeah, so they have an intimate time in the inn, and then they're like, okay, back to business. We gotta find
Murder.
yeah, we gotta find Kristoff, get this amulet back so we can fucking kill him. Or Lenora is very much like, I'm gonna fucking kill him. Yeah, so then they go out into the crowds of the night market, and they go to a very populated place, and they spot Kristoff, and immediately Ramnaru is like, I see his colors, and he is jealous, and what can I do with that?
Let's make him more jealous.
Exactly. So they come up with this weird little plan where, and I still like this was very much like
It was flawed from the beginning.
exhibitionist from the.
Absolutely.
The
So-
plan was flawed from the beginning.
I was like, how did they thought they were gonna make Kristoff so jealous that he's blind
Yes.
with jealousy and he doesn't even notice Jack stealing the amulet?
Yes.
Right off his neck.
right off his neck.
So yeah,
Like, we're gonna fuck
Like,
in this
let me
market.
just grab this really quick, Micah.
I need your necklace. Come here.
just let me have that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the plan was very stupid, but I mean, I try to steal things, make a demon bargain.
Also-
I don't know which, but
Why was Jack the one doing it and
Jack
not
was-
Jack's girlfriend? Because Jack's girlfriend was
a werewolf.
Okay,
Jack
okay.
was apparently good at it.
Also, if
Not good
Sky
enough.
the werewolf had
good
done
enough.
it, she would have ripped Kristoff apart.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
Lenora
problem.
wanted it.
But
Lenora
Lenora-
was like, save
don't
him
see
for
the
me.
issue.
Yeah.
Lenora should have just been like, absolutely, Sky, you get it. You
Yeah.
get it. I know you can get
It was.
it. You
It
can
was
get
all.
I don't know if it would have worked though, because the whole thing about the
probably
amulet,
would've.
The
Yeah,
amulet is that it
protected
protects them. Yeah.
So like, if it's like a brawl, like you're losing.
And also,
Yes.
and also like Kristoff, like she prefaces it that, you know, he's skilled at what he does. Like he's
Yes.
not just like some, you know, piss ass from down the road.
Yeah,
like
he's a powerful witch.
Powerful.
yeah.
Yes.
It could be because oh my gosh, sorry, this is like just hitting me. I just remembered because Ramanu also is like, yeah, no, his family like fucks around with like other monsters to gain their magical abilities.
Like in his
Yes.
bloodline.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
vampires
Like he's
and-
mixed with
yeah.
a lot of different things.
It's all about the bloodlines, people.
Where's
It's
the
all
next
about
it's
Where's the-
eugenics.
Where's the lawboard? It's about the human babies with the paranormal people.
Oh wait, did you really have a section for this?
Yes.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let us hold
Alright,
it.
guys,
Let us
we're
hold
on
it.
the murder board back.
Babies equal human babies equal power. That was it.
Is this subplot just eugenics?
Wait.
Yes.
No.
They're trying to make the most powerful babies. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
That's the
What did I
whole
miss?
point. That's why
eugenics.
That's why Azazel's bringing in
Okay,
people.
wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're like an expert in this now. So are we back to book one in A Dragon's Bride where he's like, you must have human babies to save this realm?
Yes.
Are we literally
No,
back
it's
to
not
that?
just about the. I think. Okay, my
We're
theory
literally
is.
back?
My theory is their realm obviously is dying. They need the human babies to reintroduce to make more power. But that's not unique to this world. Everyone is out there all trying to mix their bloodlines together to make the peak bloodline.
It's
In
eugenics.
Court of the Vampire Queen, we have celestials and humans mixed together, and the vampires mixing together too, trying to make the ultimate vampire babies. Then we have all of them trying to make the ultimate vampire
I
babies.
didn't realize that it went this
We don't
deep.
need babies.
It's all eugenics, dude.
Babies equal power.
Here's
Also-
your breeding kink, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're on this board.
No. Breeding kink and baby kink are two different things.
Yeah.
Also, Mallory, does your drawing of Soul have 2 dicks?
I didn't mean it to be that way, but it kind of does look like he has 2 dicks.
Also, canon.
The tentacle.
That's a tentacle.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
And then those are supposed to be wings for the gargoyles, but I didn't know how to draw them, so I
look
just
like wings.
Yeah.
I just need you to know I had a good
That's
angle at
hilarious.
looking at dragons, and I was like, does he have 2 dicks?
Also, the most important question: who is Eve?
That
real.
listen, us reading The Dragon's Bride and me like slowly putting down my laptop going, who the fuck is
You know how
Eve?
had that
pissed I
reaction.
was in this book where they kept bringing up Eve.
Yes.
Where Ramen was like, yeah, but he's having all those issues with Eve.
Eve.
Who the fuck,
Fuck is Eve?
We don't know.
Who is she?
We don't know.
Who is Eve?
Don't tell me.
We
Maybe
don't even have a date for that book, by the way. There is no
But
date
I
for
will
when
be reading
Azazel's
it
book.
Simply
Yes.
because I have to know
Who the fuck is Eve?
Yeah, we
Why is she
know.
causing so many problems?
Yeah, we gotta get into the shenanigans.
What's
Ugh.
happening between her and Azazel?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
So we're like 50 pages in, so you know nothing can go wrong.
Yeah,
Of course not.
The way
it's gonna work, and the rest of the time is just them fucking.
the way
Exactly.
the way I really am just imagining Jack sitting down with their werewolf girlfriend watching Ocean's 11 right now, being like, "That's how we get Kristoff. That's it."
You know what was happening is Jack was sitting there in a chair, like, up, there he goes.
This is my chance.
No.
now he's
no.
fucking 3 other people.
No,
Damn it.
Jack was fucking their werewolf girlfriend and was like, "Oh shit!
Oh god, it has something to do. Like,
I needed to do something."
So, just to make it very clear for anyone who has not read this book, the night market is a place where all kinds of things can happen. So, like the fact that they are out in the open, there's lots of fucking going on regardless. So, this isn't like something that people would have stopped and been interested in because it was just going to happen anyway. So, Ramanu is like, hey, Lenora, just so you know, he's hella jealous. Like, I can see it all over him. Let's make it worse. And Lenora is like,
Down to
Good
fuck.
plan.
let's
She
do it.
is.
Good plan.
She is down to fuck.
So anyway, yeah. So Ramnaru takes her to a wall and picks her up and fingers the fuck out of her.
Which is hot.
It's so hot
It was
in front
hot.
of everyone. Like,
It's-
literally, it's a market. It's
Yeah.
like
Like it's
people.
busy,
busy.
bustling.
Yes, bustling.
Imagine Laura is Lenora and Kristoff is like, so, see, you're fucking around with a demon, a bargainer.
As
one.
she's
And
getting fingered.
yes, Ramanu is very much fingering her.
Mid-orgasm.
Yeah. He's just like casually laying on the wall, like, so.
Hey, do you miss me? I have your amulet now. Do you want me back?
Yeah,
far
no,
it's
no,
come.
he's literally like playing with the little amulet, like, so. You miss
Bone.
me?
Miss you.
I can't
Love you.
I can't believe you would make
the
a
amulet.
deal with the demon.
You're
for
so desperate.
like,
Yeah.
that's literally what's
Even
happening.
Lenora even like comes up with another plan, and she's like, maybe if I fuck him,
Yes, she
maybe
does.
does.
sex,
She's
maybe
like-
I'll get it back.
That's a little bit later, but yeah, she's very much like, I could just fuck him again.
She's real desperate at
Yeah,
that
She
point.
is.
Yeah.
She's very desperate at that point. Anyway, but Ramnaru is very much like conflicted. He's like, I gotta keep my guard up because this is the motherfucker that we're after. But I also am really enjoying fingering her and making her come.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that has zero payoff other than Lenora orgasming.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nothing happens.
That was
Kristoff
payoff
goes
enough.
off. And they're like, well, that didn't
The
work
only
for us.
thing that happens is like she has good sex
Yes.
and Kristoff is mad.
Yes.
Which that doesn't necessarily mean that's in your favor.
Exactly. But then also, logistically, though, he then now knows that you are there and with a demon. I feel like it would make his guard more extreme. Like if I were
Yeah.
Kristoff and I saw, oh, here's this person who clearly wants me dead. I have stolen from them and they have a demon with them. I'd get the fuck out of town.
I'd be like, I wonder why they summoned a demon. It's almost like I betrayed them.
Couldn't be for me.
Like last week.
I think Kristoff suffers from the mental illness of being a white man. And just assuming nothing bad could ever go wrong.
Has the audacity to think that everything's going to go his way. Because
Yeah,
he has the amulet.
A white man.
No! Exactly. Anyway,
Just like
so
that.
after this wall fucking, right, they go off and they're like, okay, hopefully Jack can get to him now that he's like distracted emotionally, whatever. Doesn't happen. They have this very like cute intimate moment though where they're sitting at a table together and they are discussing the like the epic, what is it called? The epic battle that takes place.
The tournament.
Tournament. Yeah. So they're like vaguely discussing like, okay, well he's gonna be in the tournament and that's gonna be our last chance.
Yeah.
But her and Ramanu have this like cute little moment where his like arm is draped behind her and she keeps touching his knee and it like makes me all like giggly because it's like cute.
It was me like
so cute.
sitting in my bed like kicking my little feet.
Yeah, I was like, I want to touch a demon's knee to reassure him.
Yes. Well, also like at this point too, like we, you know, obviously as the reader have read from like Ramanu's perspective.
Yes.
And we know that
It's my face.
Sorry, it's just Micah's face. She's like, so she looked so angelic. She's like, I just want to fuck a demon, but her eyes.
Are they turned?
No, they're fine.
Oh. Look into my eyes.
But
So sorry.
Sorry.
But no, it's fun because it's like at this point, us as the readers know that like Ramanu, it like is literally whipped for her.
Very much
Doesn't
so.
even care about this bargain anymore.
No.
Would do anything for her. Is like,
Yes.
I am so invested in this person, and I've not felt like this in a very long time.
And it kind of scares them a little bit.
It does,
'Cause they're
yeah.
like, I have seen everyone be fucking pussy whipped around me, and I've never done it. But
Yeah.
what about
He
this?
literally
Yes.
is like, I kept giving Soul such a hard time.
Yes.
And now
I
it's
get
my turn.
Yes.
Now I get
No,
it.
Ramanu's like, wow, this is karma
Yes.
for me. But
Karma's a bitch. I should've known better.
But like it's so fun because it's like reading from Ramanu's perspective. I mean, I liked both of their perspectives.
I did too.
But reading from Ramanu's was so much fun because it was like looking at the colors of her emotions.
Is apparently from his gargoyle
It is.
heritage.
Oh, we don't have to pull out the lore board.
It's too late.
It's happening. Okay.
I feel like Vanna White.
Oh, stunning!
So all in the Krempu, all of the different
In the Krempu.
in the Krempu, there are different people with different powers. The gargoyles have the power to see emotional auras. That's it. We really didn't have to pull the lore board. We just wanted to pull it out. I mean, none of that is relevant. It's just for me.
Well,
It's for all of us.
But the gargoyle parentage that he apparently has. Humans are a conduit for magic, and all of these monsters need them for breeding purposes.
Babies equal power.
wow, this got
Thank
10
you,
times
Mallory.
unsexy.
Yeah. I know. Okay, back to it. So they're at this table. They're having this
Power
cute
isn't
little
sexy all the
moment. What?
Sorry.
I said power isn't always sexy.
Power isn't
It's
always
not.
sexy.
how hard did that fireball shot hit you?
Fireball. Do, 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 do,
I feel weird.
I can see it in your eyes.
Was it the
It's
fireball
my-
shot? Was it the lore board?
It's my demon
Is it
influence.
Micah?
I
Look
think
into my eyes. Is it me?
it's Micah. It's like every time I just look over, it's
Feel my
just-
power.
I feel a little bit more unhinged because it's just like she's red.
Don't have a baby.
I'm red.
No babies.
You're red.
I'm not red.
Micah just looks like Micah, Mallory.
What are you talking about?
What?
Micah looks
I'm
completely normal.
Yeah,
No,
she's
not
in
a
her
demon.
normal t-shirt, leggings,
Yeah.
her
Like,
shaved head.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh God.
Did Hazel sneeze?
I think she did. She sneezed again.
Hazel doesn't like you all gaslighting me.
What are you talking about?
It's not gaslighting. Keep girl boss time.
Mallory, I don't know what
I don't
you're
know
talking
what
about.
you're talking
Micah
about.
looks
Absolutely
normal.
normal.
She looks like how she always looks.
Gotcha.
Always normal. Yep.
Anyway,
okay, I'm so sorry. So we are at the table. And Jack
Intimacy.
comes up and he's like, fuck, I didn't get it. Which is no fucking surprise.
No, not to
but
us.
he
Bad.
is, or they, Jack is also a they, them. And I'm sorry. I think I've been calling him he the entire time.
We can just go back in when we edit, and every single time it's just one of
They.
us voicing over they.
They.
Sorry.
We know
We
they're
know.
they.
We know it's
They're-
they.
we know
We
they're
really
they.
want to respect it. It's
We
just
do.
also we forget.
Yeah.
You know what? I do
Okay.
want to bring this up. I want to bring this up
Okay.
because I am gay. So
Okay, let's do
I
it.
want to bring this up. I just think we could have had way more fun with Ramanu being a they them and also being a demon sex wise
Yes.
and not just only having a penis.
You know, I
Yes.
thought about that because, like, Ramanu is a demon, so there were so many opportunities there.
it.
I was
for it
low-key
to have been.
excited
I was
for it.
expecting it.
I was
to
too.
be
I
honest.
would have loved if Ramanu had both parts.
Same.
I was expecting it.
There were things that were like being set up before
Yeah.
the first sex scene, and I was like, okay, this could be really cool. Like Ramanu could be intersex, and then they weren't.
I'm glad you brought that up
And-
because I was thinking that too.
It just kind of makes me a little sad and a little disappointed because it's like this is a magical fantasy world. Like your non-binary character could be anything. Hell, Ramanu could have been built like a Ken doll and had nothing.
That's
Exactly.
literally what I was thinking as well.
Like, or could also like shift to change out
Agreed.
whatever they want to present as.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
It was,
truly both.
Yes.
it just fell a little flat for me as somebody that like would have wanted to see that.
Especially because all of the other books in this series that we have so far, they all also have penises.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
So it's not like we're, you know,
You don't get
Also-
anything different.
nothing new.
And Soul has 2 dicks. So why can't Ramanu be intersex?
Yeah.
I was
agree.
expecting it.
I was
to
too.
be honest.
Yes.
Because after, Katee Roberts sets up like Lenora's romantic timeline with like all the people she had been with, I was like, okay, this is leading up to like Ramanu like
Yes.
being, somebody who has both or
Yes.
something different or whatever.
My only
It
thing
could've
is,
been more
okay,
fun.
maybe she didn't want it to be like a spectacle. You know, like, okay, because Soul having 2 dicks is like not the norm. And then there's a Kraken dude that has tentacles, not the norm. You know, so then if you're also pairing, okay, this person has like 2 different genitalia, or they can shapeshift their genitalia and they're non-binary. I wonder if it was maybe like, okay, I don't know if that's going to be like, I'm saying that is their like special monster talent. When it's not, there are really people that have both genitalia.
That's a
Right.
great point.
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
true.
Yeah. That's the only reason I could think of that would be like a good.
I think that's a fair point, but
Yeah.
this is also fucking magic.
Oh, that's not good.
And like I never want to like make speculations or like
yeah.
hyper criticize people for like how they write something, but like as somebody that is having a real life queer experience just existing, there's some things I would like, and I'm not saying that this was bad. I thought it was fun
Yeah.
yeah.
and I enjoyed it, and Ramanu is number 1 on my monster tier list
Yeah.
out of all the books that we've read.
Yeah.
same.
Because Ramanu is
the wolf
honestly
can
the
kind of get it. I'm just
best
saying.
personality wise.
And it doesn't invalidate their binary experience
It
that they have a
doesn't.
dick. It's just like,
no, most
would've
non-binary
been
people
nice.
have
Most
one
people have
set
one
of
or the
genitalia.
other.
Most of them do.
yeah, but like, why if they're a demon, do they
That's
have
my
to?
only critique. It's like it's a magical world. We've already established that dragons can have 2 penises, so why can't bargainer demons have something also happening?
Yeah.
no,
it's
I
magical
agree.
sex. It's an erotica book.
Yeah,
I think-
I just think you should have a little fun with it.
Yeah, I think both of you are completely valid.
I mean, yeah, and I
Yes.
agree with you too. Like, I was on the same page as you, but I'm just trying to think of like, okay,
the
Yeah.
reasons why.
maybe like I don't
Yes.
think
Well,
Katee
like-
was like, I only write dicks, because she doesn't.
No.
So
Well, like this was the other thing too. Like I was looking at like the reviews for Ramanu's book, and all the 1-star reviews that people bothered to leave reviews for were like, "What's this they them agenda?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck off!"
you're reading a
different.
demon
Like-
monster book.
Like,
What? Yes.
this is a demon.
Like that's where the line is.
This is not even a human person.
The devil is a man.
This is a demon.
Like that's where the line is.
The devil is
The devil has a dick. Don't you take that away from me.
God is a woman and the devil is a woman.
I was about to say,
God is a woman and the devil has a dick.
they broke up. That's what happened. God was like, get the fuck out of my apartment. And the devil's like, ah.
No, God, but you're so sexy.
I just wanted to fuck you more.
They, them, agenda.
That is literally what those 1-star reviews were. They were like, what's with all this liberal they, them?
I was wondering.
Da-da-da.
So stupid.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're reading a demon book. What the fuck?
Yes.
Why are you worried about that?
For real. I was like, that's where the line is.
Our Christian community wouldn't even let us read like Harry Potter or watch Pokemon, and they're out here okay with demon erotica.
Yeah, apparently.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
They need to know what the devil looks like so they can identify him anywhere.
He's among us.
He's among us.
Imagine
Is the
going
devil
to
among us
church.
right now?
Look, imagine going to church.
I don't know, Micah.
And you bring
Are
the
they?
wrong book with you. Instead of the Bible,
know.
you accidentally open up your demon
Imagine-
erotica book.
She starts playing.
Laura, imagine being in chapel and then all of a sudden, in a quiet moment, the audiobook of Demon's Bargain.
You just raise your hand. Pastor, is the devil a they them? I read this book.
You know, in the church now, they probably would say that.
Yeah.
The devil's a they, them, and God is a heterosexual man. God
No. God is a heterosexual white man.
God is a man. God is white, and God is a man. Don't you take that away from us.
A white man? No!
They're at this table. They find out that Jack has failed to get the amulet off Kristoff. And they're coming up with an alternative plan. And it's the last ditch effort. And it's the tournament. Which is basically a battle to the death. And so Lenora is explaining kind of like the logistics of it. You enter your name. You get called. You fight. It's very magical. And some of the past battles that they have had. And we find out that she 100% broke the spine of Jack's partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sky.
Right?
Mhm.
Yes, is
Yeah.
a werewolf. So, you know, like, it just kind of goes to show that Lenora is a badass and she can hold her own.
Well, it's not she's badass, but also she prefaces it by saying, because they were like, well, is he allowed to use that amulet? Because it protects the user.
Correct.
And she goes, And Sky's like, yeah, you dirty fucking cheat.
Very much so.
Because Lenora used it in the past to win her year
Yes.
that she did the tournament.
She does say that she was like, I was 19 and just kind of stupid. And I got a lecture from my dad's.
Which, I mean, fair.
Fair.
We've all been 19.
I mean, if I was having to fight to the
I'm
death,
still 19.
I might cheat.
Who hasn't broken someone's back in a
Laura?
murder tournament when you're 19?
Laura, look me in my
Exactly.
eyes. You're not 18.
Do I have a wrinkle? I'm making a bargain.
7 years of your life.
To
7
never
years of
stop
your life
producing collagen.
For no
Exactly.
wrinkles.
Precisely.
No wrinkles.
More collagen.
Demon bargain, Botox. I know which
Actually,
one I'm choosing.
Me
I
too.
probably would. Oh, wow. I probably would just hang out for 7 years.
Okay, yeah, because you're not
For that.
aging.
Yeah.
Like, there's no downside. You're just peacing out 70. Like, I miss you guys.
It's like a vacation.
I
You
miss
wouldn't
you
know I
guys,
was
but
gone.
you,
But we
you guys
wouldn't
would
know.
also just think I disappeared for.
Like a minute.
Yeah.
No,
You'd be
you
like,
would
"Oh, she
you
was
would leave us a note and you'd be like, you know where I am.
I would leave
But
you a
Mallory-
note. Listen, I would actually have to text one of you and like leave a spare key for you so you could take care of my cat.
Yeah.
Hazel can
Because-
go with you.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Oh.
But also, I probably would actually. I
like
could not be
demons with
separated
love
from
cats.
Hazel for 7 years.
Yeah, demons with
Yeah.
love cats.
Mallory
Yeah.
just wouldn't answer her phone and it would be dead. And then we would all be like, wow,
Yeah.
Mallory's phone's been dead for a long time, but that's on brand. She's probably lost somewhere.
No,
She's
listen, you
fine.
guys would know something was up immediately because I didn't text back immediately.
Yeah. Mallory's phone's just dead.
No.
Then we call Ken and Ken be like, I don't know, I've been on a drive for 7 years.
Ken would be like, yeah, I've been driving around looking for her, but like, I don't know. I
I saw her at the apartment and then I couldn't find her because her phone was dead.
Four
So-
hours.
Ken also makes a deal with the
4 hours would
both
pass
gone.
gone, and you guys are like, "There's something."
Okay, Jorah's
wrong.
dead, actually.
Something's not right.
That's what would happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I don't even know where we were.
No, we're basically, the whole point of this conversation is to discuss the tournament,
tournament.
but also to kind of illustrate the fact that Lenora is nervous about Ramnaru hearing about her rather colorful past because she's like had it scare people away. And Ramanu is like, well, clearly you didn't kill her and you are still friends, so I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair.
Totally.
Like, I too would probably be like, well, she's sitting across from you and laughing, so.
Yeah.
Also, she was a werewolf, so she healed like
Yeah.
in
For
a
real.
few days
Yeah.
or whatever.
And she was in a murder tournament. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like-
no.
It was Yeah,
The
like,
rules
you
of
would
the
expect
tournament
it.
are that murder is acceptable.
Yeah.
Murder's fine.
So, like, it's not like she was just, like, walking around and then all of a sudden Lenora was like, I'm going to break that back.
yeah. Fuck you.
I hate in a not sexy way.
But in a not sexy way.
Yeah. No breaking of the back
True.
in a sexy way. She just
That's
Yeah.
for after the tournament.
Hey!
Anyway, so yeah, they have this like discussion. They have this moment of like her kind of like, oh, he doesn't find me weird for being a part of this like dark kind of like magic culture, and that's like nice and refreshing because my dad's judged me and my exes have judged me, and Kristoff is like a piece of shit, and so this is just kind of nice. Which kind of furthers their weird little relationship they've got going on right now. So hence the stealing of the amulet being null and void. They go back to the inn to kind of like refresh and have a moment of downtime before the murder. Anyway, and that's when Ramnaru starts coming to the conclusions about like the importance of the amulet, and it's not just like for protection. It's like all of her family's magic.
Yes.
Celestial,
Yes.
which he does kind of ascertain.
Well, it's also
through the
like,
conversation.
yeah, it's also really funny because she's just like, yeah, well, like an ancestor of mine, you know, got very, very close with like a celestial being, and they just gifted it, and he just,
Runner is like,
yeah, they,
god,
yeah,
right?
it's
God.
a celestial being, like a god,
Yeah,
and Ramanu is just kind of like, blink, blink, honey.
yeah.
They didn't just like gift it.
A celestial just doesn't give that to anyone.
No, like they. And
They
Ramanu
fucked.
also is like, it's in your blood.
It's in your blood.
in your blood.
So yeah, so Lenora is very much like part celestial
Yeah.
of some kind.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Is it on the board?
it is on the board, but it's not really because they're celestials, which is
Yes.
what Lenora is,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is different. I thought it was like celestial and infernal, you know, like there's like angels and demons.
Yes.
But I don't think that's it. I think Lenora is like a celestial, which is something else, because there are in Court of the Vampire Queen, there's seraphim,
Yes.
which is the
angel.
angel.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So,
Yes.
but I don't think that's what Lenora is, because in the book, seraphim, they have this like pull to people, and Lenora doesn't have that.
But when
Yeah, the way I thought the Celestials were described was very much like gods.
I think they're gods.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
But also in the vampire book, they do talk about it being celestial
Yeah.
as well, even though it is angels.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think it
I
really
was very
matters.
con-
It's never mentioned again.
It does matter. It matters so much. It
But
matters so deeply to me.
Cut to the lore board.
It doesn't.
Didn't she have a lot of other things in her blood as well, though? Like,
No, Kristoff does.
but
Kristoff
I
is-
thought that she had some other stuff
No.
happening in her bloodline too.
I think hers was just witch and celestial.
Was it?
Yeah,
I
she's
think
just,
so.
which she didn't even know the Celestial thing was in her bloodline. It's not
Yeah,
until
she
like
thought
she is having this conversation with
She
Ramanu.
thought she was just a witch.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Ramanu's like, bestie, honey, love of my life.
They were fucking.
Very much so.
Like it's like,
They
let
were
me sit you
fucking.
down and have the birds and the bees conversation.
They were fucking.
like,
Yeah.
When one human meets a celestial and they love each other very,
Very
very
much.
much.
yeah.
They get an amulet.
Yes.
They
get an
To protect
amulet,
their
but
bloodline.
It's not a birth control amulet. Like,
Nope. She has to wear a separate one for that.
yeah.
She's just covered in amulet. One amulet for each specific thing she needs.
Wait, I got another one.
Wait, which one do I wear today?
This one's for this.
Do I need my birth control amulet today, or do I need the one that like makes me breathe fire? I don't know.
I don't know. It's a hard choice.
Exactly. But all fun and games aside, Lenora is very distressed in this scene.
Yes.
She is actively losing her magic, and like Ramnaru can like sense it and almost like see it within her that it's fading. And so they are very much like, you cannot compete in this tournament. this is ridiculous. You will die because you are losing your magic and you're going up against someone who has your amulet that's going to protect them. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this.
On top of their own magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And exactly. And Lenora is like, well, I have to. And I think that I kind of found it endearing in the sense that she, even though she knew that the likelihood of her winning was like very
slim to none.
Yes, slim. She still was very much, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Like I am gonna sign up. I am gonna solve my problems. You are very much like my backup plan.
And she was like, nobody else is risking their lives like for something that was like that she feels like was her mistake.
Yes. Yeah. She does very
like
much
tell judgment.
Yeah, she very much tells Ramanu that she's like, I cannot. Like, I would not be okay with something happening to you because of my problem.
Yeah. Which I respect that so much about her.
Yes.
Like, if she was going to go out, she was going to go out on her own fucking terms.
And she was not the victim.
Yes. And she also was not going to bring anybody else down with her.
Exactly.
Which I respected a lot.
Yeah. Because she only let Jack help because it was in a way where she felt like Jack wouldn't get caught. Mm-hmm. And, like, that it was not a risk to their life.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very cognizant of, like, I'm going to be the one that pays the price for this.
And I like that she wasn't, like, the damsel in distress. Like,
oh,
yeah, you're a magical, powerful demon. Maybe you should go.
This book would have been so much shorter if she was just like,
do it. 7 years. Yeah. That would have been 10 pages. Yeah. So they have this, like, kind of, like, heart-to-heart where they're very much like, I can't let you do this because you're going to die. And she's very much like, I'm going to do this. And Ramanu tries to kind of like diffuse the tension with being like, okay, well, if you're not going to let me like help you physically with this, like maybe emotionally, we can kind of share some stuff. And they make a joke of about her pegging them. Pegging them. And Lenora is all about it. And so they go to the shower.
I thought that conversation happened while they were in the shower.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Or like before or something. Well, it's either like right before or during.
It's like she is definitely distressed.
Yes.
And I feel like
she goes to the shower to kind of escape the conversation, and Ramanu
follows.
Very much is like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, and then the conversation keeps happening.
Yes.
and then pegging gets put on the table.
This is my favorite sex scene, by the way.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
It was fantastic. Other than I did giggle with the magical strap on.
I know. Me too. I thought it was funny.
I couldn't get past, like, it wasn't sexy for me. Like, the pegging is sexy, but like, hey, I have this spell that's going to require blood magic. And Ramanu was very much like, my lady, like, you don't have a lot of magic right now, and you're wasting it on.
She's like a magical strap on.
Yeah. But yeah, they very much have this lovely pegging that occurs.
Isn't it also like bright pink too, and it like twitches?
Yes,
it gets
impulses. Make it bigger.
Yeah, she slowly makes it larger inside of him.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved every second of that.
It was my favorite sex scene.
Like, it was a little silly, but it was really fun.
It was fun.
It was just, I felt like, and also I feel like with each of these sex scenes, I definitely felt like it was the two of them having sex, which I know you said in Dragon's Bride, it was just kind of like, okay, Briar could have been anybody.
That's true.
So obviously couldn't have been
their personalities showed through like every single sex scene.
It did.
Which was super fun because they always have like a banter.
Yes.
They're always like pushing each other in like a fun, sexy way.
Yeah.
And not in like...
Yeah. It's very much like both of them, like, they both are the kind of people where they want to, like, assert dominance over the other, but they also don't want it to be like they're overpowering the other person. Mm-hmm. They want them to meet, like,
they want to meet in the middle.
Meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
A meeting of the
I found it.
And
so,
it wasn't as vanilla.
No,
I really like most of the sex scenes.
I really liked, like, right here it says, do you want to be top or bottom? And Ramanu is like bottom, and then it's like Lenore's get on your stomach, you know, and they obey at once. You know, it's very much like this fun back and forth between them. It was
so fun.
Yeah,
their sex scenes were fun.
It is, yeah. There was a lot of good back and forth between them.
It's a good push and pull.
A push and pull. I was literally about to say that. A nice push and pull.
I also really liked, I have this in my notes and I wanted to look if it was this one, but like when she does flip Ramen over and they're doing it doggy style, she is like, or no, Ramen flips her over and they're doing it doggy style, and she's like, I want it to be fast and impersonal and like not to think about how much I care about them. And Ramen is like, oh no you don't, and then like starts touching her so that she's like has to be in the moment with him. I really loved that.
They push her down and then start fucking her slowly, even though she wants it fast, which was very hot. I know. Because it was like, I'm not going to let you escape this. Like, we're going to have these feelings.
Yeah, because he was like, Ramen was like, I really care about you. And I know that you feel the same way. Like, you can't like run.
Oh my God, sorry, I just read their nicknames and I totally forgot about it. I love that he calls her Little Witch and she is just Demon.
I love that.
Ramanu is like, come Demon, you know. And it's like, oh yes.
I also really enjoy too that, like, obviously, you know, Ramanu sees everything like via color, so I love like the idea of them having sex, and it's like, I want her to look like this while I'm doing this. I want her to be this color. Like,
I also really loved when Lenora was like, I wonder what color love looks like. I can't ask that.
Yes.
No I want to know.
I'm pretty sure it's like, I remember it being in the Gargoyle book. Beautiful. I think it's like purpley mauve or something. Interesting. Like in between like red and pink.
Dusty rose.
Something. I don't remember exactly what color it was.
Though I do. Lenora very. I think it might be that. It's lovely. Lenora does though very much be like, it's been 24 hours.
She's like, yeah, it's been 24 hours. I can't ask that.
Yeah.
I've known them for 3 days.
I do love the reality check. Neither one of them are like, I'm in love with you. They both are like, I don't know, but we can explore it.
Yeah. Also, even
3 days.
Yeah, like even when they're talking about the 7-year deal, Ramen's like, well, I don't know if we want to do the 7-year deal because like she's gonna get tired of me and I'm gonna get tired of her. Yes. And it's so even then they're like cognizant of like this could maybe not be for forever, but it's really great now.
Well, I think both of them admit throughout the story that neither one of them have had a relationship like that. So it would be the first time either of them had some sort of like long-term loving kind of relationship, which is good. Anyway, but past the sex scene though, we get to the tournament.
I have a lot to say about the tournament.
The tournament that I also thought was kind of hot.
I thought it was oddly short. And
disappointing. It was disappointing. It was so disappointing.
But,
okay, we'll get there.
But there are definitely hot elements. So yeah, they get to the signups. Lenora signing up, and Ramanu can literally see their power drain from their body or her body, and so like they're like try to do a spell, and Lenora's like, I can do this, and instantaneously it starts like having holes in it.
It's just her trying to put up a shield.
And Ramanu is like, absolutely not, like you cannot do this. And Lenora is like, I'm doing it anyway, and Ramanu is like, bind me right now. And Lenora is very much like, what? Absolutely not. And Ramanu very much forces her hand, because essentially from what there's not really much of a description on what binding a demon does or the process in which you do that, but apparently it just means that you could make them do anything you wanted.
I think you can just command them.
I feel like it's very self-explanatory.
Ramanu is like, I'm gonna fight for you, and I'm gonna be you're gonna bind me right now, and they do a little blood magic. Lenora is complaining the whole time, and Ramanu is like, I'm gonna fight for you, girl.
I'm a fight for you.
And they do.
Yeah.
So any thoughts about this fight? I thought it was
anticlimactic.
The fight was very short. In fact, I wish the epilogue actually wasn't in the book, so we could have had a longer fight scene. Because the epilogue doesn't really do anything for me.
The epilogue didn't do anything for me either.
When she kicks off, she, like Lenora did it. No, when they kicked off Kristoff's head, they kicked him and decapitated him. I was surprised. I was like, I almost didn't realize it happened when I first read through it. I was like, oh, he's dead.
He just ripped
It's over.
Right off.
It's just over.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed to think that deeply into it, but here was my issue with it. So Kristoff has this magical amulet, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally all Ramen does is distract Kristoff through the whole thing so that he can beat the shit out of him.
Yes.
Decapitate him and steal the amulet off.
Yeah.
So, like, are you telling me that all he had to do this whole time was just distract Kristoff enough,
Yeah.
and Jack,
Yeah.
the plan that Jack came up with could have worked?
Well, I think it was
Yeah.
also that Ramen, like, just literally just kicked the shit out of his shield so much that they just broke.
So,
Yeah,
so
it's-
Ramen does explain that, like,
Yeah.
Kristoff was expecting a magical battle, and Ramnaru
Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna give him a chance.
Yes.
So it's very physical, very from the get-go.
Yes.
And, like, he's
And
just
also-
kicking the shit out of his force field.
Yeah, and also like Ramanu not only like has, you know, like their magic on top of it, it's also like the bond
Yes.
and the binding, because Lenore is like, do it. It's a command.
Yes.
So it's also like, here's my demon magic, but also here's like this binding magic on top of it.
Correct.
But also, what's the point of like an indestructible magical amulet if it can be beaten down?
Okay,
Well,
that
she
quickly?
says-
It said, hang on,
She
I have
says
the note.
it's not like
It's not like you're invincible.
Yeah.
It is specifically.
it just makes it 10 times harder.
for you to die.
Hang on. I have it literally written down what it does.
Which also, I
Okay,
think he
the
justifies
amulet
his
is
stuff,
celestial
too.
made. The wearer cannot be killed by poison or magic. So you can get stabbed.
Yeah.
You just
I
can't
guess
be
it's just the
poisoned or get a
magic.
spell.
It's just a magic,
Yeah.
which Ramanu doesn't use.
I guess I just wish there had been a little bit more like I guess push
It
back
should've
and
been longer.
forth, like
Or, like,
from
the-
Kristoff
yeah.
to show how powerful he
Yes.
was
Yeah.
against
Agreed.
Ramen. Like I wish Ramen had gotten his ass beat a
No,
little
because
bit.
Same.
we build up Kristoff like
Yes.
super
Yeah.
high.
It
in
literally
this.
says,
and then it's
right
just over
here.
in 2 seconds.
Kristoff
Yeah.
won't be an easy opponent. And then, like, not even in a paragraph.
Ramanu wins.
Yeah, like it just should have been longer. And I know that it's just because it's a silly little porn book and that's why it's not. But like I just think there could have been really good payoff if the fight was longer, we didn't have the epilogue, and then after the fight, we have a fucking immediate sex scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think could have happened.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
some-
Katie
some-
just didn't want to write
some
a fight
binding
scene.
sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That would've
some
been good.
Yeah.
binding sex, exactly.
You know what I want, Megan.
I thought that
Yes.
was gonna be in the epilogue.
Oh, yeah.
I was very sad. when it
I kind of
wasn't.
thought maybe there'd be a little sex in the epilogue.
I wanted some sex in the epilogue, but there wasn't any. And it's just at the very end of their contract. So, okay. So, yeah. So, essentially, Ramnaru wins this fight against Kristoff, gets her amulet back. She's got her magic back. Woohoo. And then
But no,
Because-
she doesn't get the amulet back yet. He goes to give it to her, and Lenora is like, make me make a deal for it. I want to spend 7 years with you.
yes, because she has felt like the fact that they bound themselves to her, that it's not an equivalent
not fair.
exchange, that if she were to just take the amulet back, then suddenly like the power dynamic would not be equal, right? And so yeah, that's why they enter into a contract with each other. And Ramnaru is very much like, I can just give it to you. You don't have to do this contract. Like you can just have this. And Lenora is like, no. And so yeah, they enter in a contract with each other on equal terms, which I think was really sweet.
It's pretty hot too.
Yeah.
It was really sweet, and also like they do like genuinely like bargain out this contract,
Yeah.
and write it together.
Because Ramen is like, you're making it too non-specific. Because Lenora's
Yes.
like, we can only use it during life and death situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you need to bind me more.
Yes.
Yes.
No, and then also the fact it's like, okay, well, we're not signing the 7-year contract unless you decide that we're keeping the binding on me for that 7 years.
Yeah,
Correct.
so that it's
So
even.
equal.
Yes, and Ramnaru even has to put in like clauses into the actual contract for himself or themselves, and they're like, Azazel is gonna be like, what the fuck?
I know. Azazal's gonna read this
weird.
contract and be like, the fuck, this is so complicated.
No.
Someone's gonna knock it off his desk.
Azazel's gonna read this contract and be
Briarwood.
like,
Briar's
dang,
gonna knock it off.
they got a celestial? Respect.
Respect.
I know.
This is how Ramnaru
Because-
becomes second in command.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that's
But
Ramen's whole
also-
goal.
Yeah, but also Lenore probably pisses the shit out of Azazel off.
Oh, 100.
Holy
Okay.
sure.
Not more than Eve does.
I will say this is a spoiler for the other books, but Lenora
Spoiler.
is actually super mega helpful in some of them.
Thank
so.
God.
So she shows up again.
She shows up in the
What about
Kraken.
Ramen? Does Ramanu show up again?
Ramen, I think, shows. Ramen is in every single book.
Oh, good.
Azazel is in every single book. Lenora is in the Kraken. I have it on my murder board.
Murder board time.
For the last time we're bringing out the murder board.
Yeah, so I marked which ones they're in. So Lenora is in. She is in the Gargoyle book. Where is Lenora? Where's our girl?
Did you not put her on the board?
I thought I did put her on the board.
Is she not on the board?
Maybe I just put Ramanu. Lenore. Oh wait, no. Lenora's in the Kraken book.
Kraken.
Up there.
Oh yeah, I have Lenora cameo in that little purple thingy.
Oh, purple.
And then Ramen is in the Gargoyle book and the Dragon book and the Kraken book, and Azazel is in the Gargoyle book, the Kraken book, and the Dragon book.
Cool.
And Court of the Vampire Queen.
And the whole book series isn't even done yet. Like the Succubus book has to come out and Azazel's book has to come out.
Yeah.
Which we will be reading.
We will be reading.
Yeah, we somehow got way too invested in Katee Robert.
It's only because of Ramanu.
It really is because of Ramanu.
Oh no, that was the only reason we wanted to read.
Yeah.
We were like, whoa.
We were all like, we want to read Robin's.
As soon as Ramen showed
Yeah.
up in Dragon's Bride, I was like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
fully
like,
interested.
yeah, I mean, me and Mallory were like going through our Dragon's Bride audio, and then we were like, we kind of want to read Ramanu's book. And then we did it at the exact same time, and we're texting each other, and we were at the same exact point every time we were texting each other, which was wild.
It was wild.
But also was fun.
It was so fun. I'm just echoing you.
It
Wild.
It was.
Wild.
So fun.
It was just like
Fun.
it was just me texting you and being like, why do I immediately love Ramanu immediately so much?
It made me
Best
mad,
one.
like looking back at Dragon's Bride, because I was just like, man, this book was so good. And then I read all of the other ones, literally like hundreds of pages, and they were all so much better than Dragon's Bride.
Yeah, Dragon's Bride was a poor entry.
I think,
Because
yeah.
I enjoyed
It was.
all of the other ones I've read so far.
Yeah.
It was just a
Far
poor
more.
introduction.
I think if Dragon's Bride hadn't been first, I also might have liked Dragon's Bride better.
yeah.
So,
Also, I like that
true.
you can read these just like haphazardly. Like
I mean, you can if you don't want to get
If you
into
don't
the
care
lore.
about lore like Mallory.
I know,
No,
Mallory.
I had to decode.
But like, it was nice to be able to read
Yeah.
Ramanu's book.
You also
without
can't
having-
read them in the order if you care about the lore.
Yeah, it's true. Because Dragon's Bride shouldn't be first.
No. You got to go Court of the Vampire Queen. Then you got to go Gargoyles because it overlaps with Court of the Vampire Queen.
Yeah.
Then you can go Dragon's Bride.
Yeah.
Then you can go Demon's Bargain. Then you can go Kraken.
Which that order might change when the other two books come out.
That is true.
That's true.
I
Oh
mean,
my
I
God.
know Azazel's
Redo
book is
the-
probably always
I'll
the last
lose
one.
my mind.
Lord.
You're gonna have to revisit the murder board.
Yes, we will. A new lore board. Dun, dun, dun. But anyway, we've all said that we didn't really care for the epilogue. Nothing really
Yeah.
happens
Nothing
other
happens.
than the fact that it's at the end of their 7 years that they have bargained.
Yeah.
And they just decide, okay, well, now we're done, and
Gonna go meet the
we're
parents.
gonna go meet the parents.
Yeah, meet her
which
Very
dad.
mundane.
Lenora's been gone for like 3 weeks in her world, but 7 years.
They also
here.
low key slide in that like she has already met
Ramen's
Ramen's
parents.
Ramen's parents, yeah, and that it was very awkward, and
Yes.
but it went okay, yeah, and so they just agree that they still care about each other and want to be together, and so on and so forth, and that she can kind of come as she pleases because she knows how to border magic.
Yeah.
Could you imagine bringing a demon home
Yes,
to your parents?
yes.
Hey, dads.
Mike is like, I can
is
imagine it
Ramen.
vividly.
I actually don't know if
Second
my
in
parents.
command-
I don't know if my parents would notice.
If they were a demon, they had
Why?
no eyes, horns.
Listen,
Your
my
mom. Why are they red?
my mom. Listen,
She would be like, after they left, she'd be like, Joelle, I didn't want to say anything, but your little friend was real weird.
they were different.
They were a little flush.
literally, that's what would have happened, and then I probably would have been like, "Mama, they're a demon,"
They're bright red.
and then she would have been like, "Well, are they like a demon, or are they like a demon?" Then, like, what the fuck does that mean?
I can literally hear this conversation.
I can too.
Us at brunch and you and your mom
Yeah.
screaming at each other while we're like, "Yep, this
Yeah.
feels right."
Meanwhile, while we
This
were
is
never
right.
actually mad at each other, we're just loud people.
I love it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Laura's mom would summon a priest.
She would immediately.
My dad wouldn't have noticed at all.
Yeah.
He maybe would have said something to mom in private, and maybe would have been like, Was that person red?"
Were they okay?
And my mom would have been like, "Mark, you can't say that."
You can't just ask people why they're red or why they got horns.
I guess we should wrap it up.
Are we rating Are we doing ratings?
I guess we can, like, rating it 1 through 5 on
Yeah.
our.
What was our scale? Didn't we have a scale?
We have a monstrous
changed
scale, which is like a
them.
1 through 10 or something.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we have our book
One-
rating,
Which is like, it's
Yeah.
like a 1 out of 5, but it's
We
like a
should
1 out of 5
rate
of-
it one out of 5 magical pink strap-ons.
I was literally.
Ooh,
Did you just take my
stunning.
brain cells
Yeah.
in my brain?
I just-
was literally about to say it.
Snatched it.
Wait. Okay. What is it again? Tell me the
Magical.
scale.
Okay, so we're gonna rate it on a scale of 1 to 5
1 to 5.
magical
Magical
strap-ons,
strap-ons,
yes.
with 5 magical strap-ons being the most
Yes.
magical.
1.
Yes.
Being the least.
1 being the
Yes.
least.
And then the monster scale for Ramanu, which is like
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
Okay.
Obviously, 10 being like fucking Cthulhu. And
Cthulhu.
1 being
Yeah.
vampires.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. I'm ready.
Well, should I go first?
Yeah, you go
I don't
first.
know.
You go first.
I'm
Got
gonna
it.
give it 4 strap-ons. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did not have really any grief with it, other than like tiny little things. Like,
Yeah.
there was no like trauma to get over. There was no. I don't know. I just had a fun time, and Ramen is a fun character.
Yes.
yeah. Same. I would give it 4 strap-ons too, because I just had a blast. Like, also that first reading experience where Jor and I were literally
Yes.
reading it simultaneously. It was like so fun, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
just short enough that you can just read it in one sitting.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah. I agree. It's 4 magical strap-ons.
Yeah.
4
Like,
magical strap-ons.
it was by far my favorite one that we've read.
Yeah.
Like, Ramanu was by far my favorite out
Yeah.
of all the like love interests that we've had so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just had so much fun.
Yeah.
It
And
was
I will
fun.
say, out of all of the, I've literally read all of them, and this was also my favorite one. Like, it is the most fun. It's not the most like adventurous of the sex,
No.
but it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm also gonna be 4.
Oh my
Woo!
god.
If you guys
Balls across the board.
were mentioning, I could do a 1 and then try to explain myself out of it. But
I
like,
don't-
if we're being truthful, I think a 4.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Strap-ons is good. I thought it was fun. Obviously, it's only 120 pages.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that. We didn't say it as much in this episode.
We
but
didn't.
It's only 120 pages.
Well, we didn't have weird things that we were nitpicking to
didn't.
climb mountains to get over.
It's because I got it all out when I was making my murder board.
Right. Exactly. I
Q
liked
murder board.
the sex scenes. I wish there had been, like we had discussed earlier, maybe something like a little more with the sex scenes.
Yeah.
I like the sex scenes. I wish the fight had been a little longer. The conflict, like a little more high stakes at the end. But other than that, I liked it for a novella and a very short book. I thought Lena was
Yeah.
a good character. I thought Lenora was a good character.
I agree.
I thought that everything was compacted very well with their backstories and pretty well thought out for
Yeah.
a short book.
Yeah, I agree.
It was so much fun.
I had a great time.
I had a great time.
I mean, it literally reeled me into reading all of
the
them.
others.
Yeah.
So
I just had fun with like the night market. I had fun with Ramen. I had fun with Lenore. Like,
yeah.
I had fun with her friends.
I did too. I think, really, honestly, it could be like a whole series.
I
where it's
wanted to
just them
stay
going on
in that night
adventures.
Yeah,
market
I
and
agree.
find out about like her world.
Well, there are other night market books.
We might have to check
I
them out.
know. I probably will.
Yeah. I think there's like 4 or something like that.
I just really liked the night market. I thought
Yeah.
it was so cool.
The
Yeah.
first one in the series is about a Gorgon girl.
Ooh, it's a Vera situation.
Vera.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how I feel about
She has to wear sunglasses all the time because she turns people to stone.
I love
Vera
that.
didn't have that problem.
Yeah.
I
No.
wish she had it.
She was just a capitalist pig.
She was. What about the monster scale? Are we gonna
Monster
rate on
scale.
that?
1 out of 10.
I'm,
Micah?
yeah, I'm sorry. He's not. They are not very monstrous. So I
not.
really think they're probably like 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, they have horns for eyes, and that's
that's really cool.
That's the most monstrous
Yeah.
thing about them.
Yeah.
Even
I-
like personality wise, they're not very monstrous.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say probably like 2.5 as well. Probably the same as like whatever we put Vectel at.
Yeah, I actually think I'm gonna say a 3, just because like the horns for eyes was a lot for me
That is a lot.
That's true.
to figure out when we read the
That's true.
the Dragon's Breath. Like upon first reading Ramanu, I was like, "Wow, Katee should figure out the anatomy," and then I was like, "Oh, No. Horns are the eyes.
Yeah.
There's
Got
2
it.
sets of horns. And also, like, they're massive. Like, they're about, 7-8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are big. They're red. They got horns for eyes. I like not very high, but I'm putting them at like a 3.
Yeah,
that's
solid
fair.
3.
That's solid.
I'm gonna give it probably a 2 as well, just because I feel like they were more humanoid. Like, I don't think that we've ran into like a true monster.
Everybody's been pretty
yet.
humanoid.
They're pretty humanoid.
We'll get there. I've got some
yeah,
stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Thank God.
And I think in general, like, the sex is not as vanilla as it is in like other books, but it's pretty like normal standard sex scenes.
Yeah, that's true. They don't even they don't have any.
It's not like,
different.
like a
No.
tail situation.
2 dicks,
Yeah.
tentacles.
Anything
Yeah.
like that. So I would say like a 2. I feel like they're still pretty like human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he had
Yes.
if they had fucked her with the horns, then maybe it might have been
But
a
it
little
might have been
Maybe.
different.
Yeah.
But
That
it was-
could've
it
been
was just
something.
very like human emotions.
It was all pretty human. Yeah.
Feelings.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't very like monster.
And I think also the fact that like demons deal with humans so often that it's like they already understand us, right?
Yeah.
There's no
Exactly.
like
Which makes
cultural kind
Yeah.
of like
Not only do they already
miscommunication.
not only do they already understand us, but like Ramanu has like the extra benefit of being able to see people's emotions.
That's
That
very
too.
true.
And just being like, wow, you're really mad right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Ramen is the one that's constantly making deals with people for like Azazel.
Yeah.
Like,
He is
they're-
the human
kinda like
like
Yeah.
go
they're
between.
kinda
Which it
like
makes sense why Ramanu
Thing.
is the one
The
that's
one
like
traveling
checking
around.
on everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Because like Ramanu can't lie about the emotions that Ramanu's seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Ramanu can look at them and be like, oh, they
Yeah,
are not
like
okay.
they can't. Yeah, they
and
can't
then they'll
lie
go back
to
and
them.
tell
Yeah.
Azazel.
Like
Yeah.
now I'm thinking about it, and Ramanu probably went to go check on Briar and was like, God, she's just a miserable thing.
She is very light blue right now, and I
Is this
don't
hurting
like
you, Mallory?
it.
What?
Is this hurting you?
Yeah, it's triggering me.
I
Oh
know.
no. You're like,
Add
why
something
would
to add to the
Azazel do
murder board
this?
Yeah.
later.
Is it?
No, it is because okay, Ramen can see people's emotions,
Yeah.
and they know when people are are harmed or not. So I guess you could say maybe like, okay, Briar was super upset, but in other books, there are instances where they are physically harmed by like the monster in the book, the monster main in the book. And Azazel knows about it, and he doesn't pull them back to the castle like he does with Briar. Like, I'm talking, like, literally, like, one of them, like, almost dies and has to go to a healer, and one of them is, like, neglected and, like, not given, like, appropriate food and, like, clothes and just, like, left alone.
Azazel.
And Azazel doesn't take them back, but he took Briar when Briar said, no, I'm fine. And the girl in those books was, like, also like, no, don't take me, I'm fine. And the reasoning was like, oh, she doesn't think that she's being mistreated, so she could stay. But for Briar, it was, no, taking you back. I don't know if it was just
So
like it
Ramen's
happened.
skills did not come in handy in those other books.
I don't know. Yeah. So I think Azazel just has very strange standards that I don't understand.
Maybe we'll find out more.
Azazel might have been
Azazel-
distracted by Eve.
I think
Eve was
Azazel,
just causing
yeah, I
chaos.
think Azazel, maybe he was just pissed. He was like, I'm having a really hard time with Eve, and I'm going to take it out on
He's
poor
like, yeah.
Briar.
He's like, yeah, these human girls are a problem.
He's like, Briar's getting fucked, and I'm not.
He's like, well, they could go right.
All she's doing is knocking the paperwork off my desk.
That's a wrap, y'all.
We did it.
Thank
We did
you.
it.
Thank you so much for
yes.
listening to the podcast and watching us. And if you want to find us anywhere, our socials are linked. And we'll have links to all of our previous videos as well.
Yes.
Where we play video games, talk about other monster books like The Dragon's Bride, which you should probably definitely watch
If you haven't.
didn't already watch this one. And yeah, everything's linked. Bye.
Do you want to make a deal with me for 7 years? Just saying.
I do.
Just a little deal. Just a little deal. Just a little one, okay? All right, please.